What if I said that I was streaming Fast Drive Football? I think this is streaming. I think that it's recording. Let's go pop over here. I'm curious. If I go in here, what do I end up seeing? This is my first live stream to YouTube in like forever. Oh, I am live. It does say I'm live. Holy moly. Hey, my audio sounds great. My camera's bad. Or not my camera, but my shadow. That's okay. Welcome to my attempt at a 2020 replay of a Fast Drive Football replay of the 2020 XFL. You're going to have to be patient with me because I believe I remember how to play Fast Drive Football. I've printed everything. I've got my little rule book handy, but we're going to just give it a go. I am looking to attempt to replay the 2020 season. I was enjoying the XFL in 2021. It was when it got taken down. I had decided that the Tampa Bay Vipers were going to be my team at the time. So we're going to use Fast Drive Football here using the team seasons that were put up on the Fast Drive Football website made by Al Wilson. And we're going to play through it and keep track of standings, overall scores, all that kind of stuff, just to see what would have happened had they gotten to play out their 10-week season plus playoffs. The teams that we have facing off today are the Seattle Dragons and the DC Defenders. The coach of the Dragons was Mr. Jim Zorn, and the coach of the DC Defenders was Pep Hamilton. In 2020, the Seattle Dragons had finished 1-4 when COVID shut the league down. The Defenders had finished 3-2 when the league had shut down. The Defenders came back. They're a team again in the newest iteration of the XFL. But it's not quite the same. They've got their beer snake still, and they've got but they took away the shield. Like they took away stuff that I ended up enjoying. But it's okay. So if you've never seen a game like this game is chart-driven with dice. So throughout this game, we're actually only going to end up, you only really need 3 dice to play this game. The rulebook indicates to use a red, black, and white die, but you can make up a combination of what colors you need, but they should be 3 different colored dice because each die is going to end up making a decision for how the game gets played. And then I have this die here that I'm using as a decider die for when there is a yes or no decision that has to end up being made. This is a simulation style game. So while it doesn't go through and keep track of individual players and how they did, it does keep overall track of how the game itself played out and with a final score that you can put in standings and keep track of stuff because I just like keeping track of things. The biggest thing that you're going to find different in the XFL, and I'm going to try to make sure that I get the rules right here. The only real big difference in the terms of play here is in the XFL, they did not automatically do 1-point conversions. That was the big thing there. They had 1-point, 2-point, and 3-point conversions. They exist again here in the 2023 iteration of the XFL. But I had to make that decision as a team. Typically, the way that I'm going to go with it is it makes sense to me to go for a 2-point conversion almost every time, unless there's some scoring scenario that would work out differently. Here's the logo for Fast Drive Football if anybody wants to see it. I believe it's able to be gotten. It is charity wear. So if you do end up getting the game and getting it all printed out and all that kind of stuff, make a nice donation to your favorite charity at Al's wishes for the development of this game. So we're going to find out who it is. See, I'm already messing up here. I don't remember how you decide who gets the ball first. Let's see. Does it even say, or do they just want you to go with a dice roll? We're just going to go with a dice roll. If it's blue, because we got the Seattle Dragons card here, the Dragons will get the ball to start. If it's red, the Defenders will get the ball to start. That's just what we're going to go with. Bam! It's a blue. So the Seattle Dragons are going to receive the kickoff here in the first quarter. Seattle. So what ends up happening on a turn, we're going to roll the dice. The red die itself determines. So this is an abstracted out version of football. You don't run individual plays. Basically, as you roll the dice, it determines what happens on a drive throughout the game. The die indicates how quickly the play played out. The higher the value of the die, the more time on the game clock gets consumed. I believe it's 1 minute and 15 seconds for each dot here. So each quarter here ends up getting a certain number of dots, and each time that you take a play, you fill in dots on the drive. The initial kickoff is going to be determined by how a die roll comes out. We're just going to roll the black and white dice. The black die will come out as the number 1 die in the number, and the white die will come out as the number 2. So if I rolled 6 and 4, it would be a 64 when you're reading from the chart. And then after kickoff, you go through and roll the red, white, and blue die to determine what, I'm sorry, red, black, and white. I've been playing too much stock car racing recently. You would end up rolling the red, black, and white die to determine what ends up happening on the play. So for our kickoff, we've got a 22. 22 says receiving team takes over with average field position. So we mark that here on our grid. And then we come over here to our drive results. We're going to roll all 3 dice. We have, in order, 6 takes up the most amount of time. So we're going to fill in 1, 2, 3, 4 dots for this drive, as I'm just kind of showing how this works. And then I'll end up marking over here on the game clock as well. That's 4 dots. And the order of the dice, as you're reading it, if I remember correctly, see, I'm going to make a fibber out of myself. You read it in the order of lowest to highest. So in this case, it is a 3, 5, 6. That's what we ended up rolling here on our dice. 3, 5, 6. 3, 5, 6. It asks, are they a disciplined offense? This worked out pretty well. So each team has individual skill sets that get applied to their teams. Obviously, the XFL is going to be a little bit more challenging to have those skill sets be determined just because they only got to play 5 games. But in this case, the Seattle Dragons are determined to have a dull, erratic, or a semi-dull, an erratic, and a semi-disciplined offense, and a soft and a semi-aggressive defense. The DC Defenders have a semi-dull, semi-solid, semi-shaky, and semi-secure offense, and a semi-disciplined defense. So in the drive chart, as things come up, it's going to ask sometimes, are they this type of offense? Yes, do this thing. Are they? And if the answer is no, then you do another thing in a separate column here on the chart. In this case, we rolled a 3, 5, 6. This game could be faster, but I'm just kind of explaining for anybody that cares. A 3, 5, 6 says, are they a disciplined offense? Well, because we actually have a semi-disciplined offense, we're going to roll this decider die to decide if they were disciplined this time or not. So if it's blue, it's yes. If it's red, it's no. It's red, they are not a disciplined offense. So we're going to move over to this other chart. Are they a reliable offense or a meek defense they're going against? No. Short interception is dropped, punt. So unfortunately for their great offense, nothing ends up happening. Seattle gives the ball back. DC, they wasted 4 dots on the clock. 4 dots on the clock. That's crazy. Here we go. We got a 1. So it's only 1. 1, 2, 5. Oh, right. You know what? I've already messed up. I need to do a punt. I did not do a punt. So let's take this back. See, I'm glad I caught it, and I'm glad I'm doing this for myself and not any of you people that aren't watching. We're going to roll a punt, and the punts operate similarly to the kickoffs. So in this case, we got ourselves a 41 punt. Receiving team takes over with average field position. Okay, now we can roll. Oh, no. Well, in this case, it's still a 1, so I can still leave that marked. And we got a 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. Is it poor field position? No, it is not. Are they an inept defense? No, it is not. 1, 3, 4. Oh, man. Hold up. See, I'm an idiot, but I'm glad that I'm catching this. I'm glad I caught this. All right. So, Dummy Mike can't even get it right for the first game of the 2020 XFL. But because they were not a disciplined offense, they do not have a reliable offense or a meek defense, I should not have punted. It actually should have been an interception. I should have gone to the third chart, and I've already screwed up the first thing. It is an interception. And then we're going on an interception. We're actually just going to roll 1 die. So we're going to roll the black die. It's a 5. Receiver catches defender for the touchdown saving tackle, but they will still have great position. So on the interception, DC gets the ball in great field position. Now let's try rolling this and find out what ends up happening. It's a 3. A 3 is 2 dots on time. And it is a 3, 3, 5. Here we go. We are feeling better now. Is it great field position? It is. Offense brings out the field goal unit. Field goal attempt. And on a field goal, each team has a value here that is on their individual card. In this case, it looks like the two teams have exactly the same thing. We're basically going to kick a field goal by rolling the black and white dice and then put them together. If the number comes in between the two numbers on the chart, then the field goal's good. It's a 32. Field goal's good. The score is DC Defenders 3, Seattle Dragons, nothing. And I put it in the wrong spot on the chart. I am great. It's a good thing I'm using a pencil. All right. Seattle finds themselves getting the ball again. Oh, it's a 66. It is a 66 on that kickoff. Is the return team electric? They are not. Otherwise, great field position. So a 66 is usually something awesome that comes up. Unfortunately, they don't have an electric return game, so they don't get to take super advantage of it, but it's still fun when that comes up. All right. We got a 1. This is another quick one. Our number is a 156. Oh, I forgot to do weather. Has weather come up here at all? We are the Dragons at the Defenders. Northeast America, Northeast USA. You know what? I'm going to put a hold on this. If I'm going to do this, let's get the weather modifiers in here. I've got to look up to see when the first game of the XFL was played. Here was our schedule. It was played in February, on February 8th. I'm going to write that up here. February 8th. So what this ends up saying is this is a weather chart. I should end up, let's do the weather. We're going to slow this roll right now. I've never actually done the weather, so let's do this. This seems fun. You're going to roll the two numbers and put them together, and then it's going to end up coming up with a result that can happen in that section of the world. So Washington, D.C., we are going to treat as Northeast United States in February. So there are a couple of options that could come into play here. It could be S, which is heavy snow or extreme cold. It could be W, which is heavy wind, or it could be unusual weather. Use this chart to introduce the extreme weather for games played not indoors. Cross-reference the month with a region, and if the dice is a specific number. In the months through February, November through February, if the dice roll indicates a weather effect, roll a second time for a second possible effect. If the identical effect is rolled twice, there are no additional effects. +1 of timing die and -6 to kicking range successes. Okay, so this is going to end up modifying things if this comes out. So I guess we're actually looking for the numerical value. If there's extreme weather, it's snake eyes, 1 and a 2, and a 1 and a 3. Whoop, I missed with this one. Oh my goodness. Try again. Oh, look at that. It is a 1 and a 3. It is a 1 and a 3. So it says here, in February, this is February 8, 2020, in Washington, D.C. Unusual weather. Roll again using the following month's column. So we're actually moving over here to March. So I guess that's what makes it unusual weather. We have a 1-2. What is going on? W, heavy wind. Results 4-6-6 and 5-6-6 go from a touchdown pass to a field goal. So this is heavy wind. I'm just going to write this down so I don't forget it. All kicking success ranges reduced by 6, i.e., 65 becomes a 55. What? How does that work? All kicking success ranges reduced by 6. I mean, they were in the middle. It was still a valid range, but why would it be, example, 65 becomes a 55? Because up here it also says under heavy rain, all kicking success ranges reduced by 3. Example, 62 becomes a 55. That doesn't make sense to me at all. What am I missing? All kicking success ranges are reduced by 6. 65 becomes 55. All right, well, we're just going to say 65 becomes a 55, but I'm assuming that that means that it's my die that I rolled. So if I rolled a 65, it made it a 55. We'll worry about it if it comes up, but we're looking for 4-6-6 and 5-5-6 become a field goal attempt instead of. So it's heavy wind. That's okay. We still got a good field goal. Seattle, it finds themselves in great field position. There we go. I don't remember if I rolled this or not, so we're just going to roll it. Remember, this is my league, darn it. Oh, my die got stuck. Boom. Come out. There we go. All right. Oh, this was a fast one, but I guess I caught the weather. I don't remember. I'm really good at this. Well, we're just going to take what we rolled here, and it's actually a 6, so it's going to be a long one this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4, 6. Are they a staunch defense? No. Ball carrier stiff arms the linebacker and sprints to the end zone. Touchdown run. All right. So in the case of, like I said, with the XFL, we're going to be trying for either 1-point, 2-point, or 3-point conversions. Extra points happen a little bit differently from the way the kickoffs happen. I just want to find my information to make sure that I'm doing it right. Which page? Which page is it on? Here we go. Use the 2-point conversion. See the supplemental rules. Where are my supplemental rules? Feeling really dumb right at the moment. I was doing so good. Well, no, actually, I have not been doing very good at all. I'm pretty sure that my brain stops working when I start trying to do this stuff or explain it. I should just write it all down before I try to explain something to somebody, but I don't. That's mixed field goals. Where is my extra point chart? Well, now, this is silly. All right, I need to pull up my chart. I need to make sure if I'm going to be doing this, I want to make sure that I'm doing it right from the get-go. Find in document. Extra point. Punts, kickoffs. Am I just blind? Interception. Oh my goodness. This is not how this is supposed to go. That's my game book. Here's my instruction sheet. Roll against the XP6X range or use the 2-point conversion table. Is that what I'm doing wrong here? Is that why I'm getting this wrong? Because there is no extra point? That's right. There is no extra point. So there was a 2-point conversion table. In this league, you don't change the 2-point conversion table. You just roll one die. In the XFL, you're modifying it for 2 points, and you're making it so that if you roll a 4, it's a failure. In order for it to be a successful 2-point conversion, you need to roll a 5 or a 6. In order for it to be a 1-point conversion, you're going to roll a 4, 5, or 6, and a 3-point conversion is a 6. So you got a 50-50 chance of getting a 1-point conversion because there are no extra points. You still need to get it in the end zone. So at that point, I might as well just take the extra points down. So like I said, my general rule of thumb is going to be that I'm going to be going for 2 points unless something goes south. So we're going to use our black die here to determine. It comes out of the 3. That is a failure. 2-point. No good. So it is 6-3 Seattle. Let's try now. We're going to have a good drive this time. 14. A 14 on a kickoff. Roll 1d6. On a roll of 6, returner is in the open. DC gets the ball here. Otherwise, average field position. So we're going to find out, is this a 6? It is not a 6. They finish in average position. All right. So we got a 4. Excuse me. This is going to wrap up the first quarter at the end of this play. It is a 1-4-5. 1-4-5. Is it great field position? It is not. Is it an inept defense? It is not. 1-4-5 is a field goal attempt. I'm going to roll. It's a 14. I guess that's a chip shot. I guess the lower the number, the shorter, based on that weather chart that is not making sense to me about why those numbers would adjust like that. I just don't understand. In this heavy wind. Whatever. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand how that mathematically makes sense. And then I also realized I never re-rolled this. Oh, no, it was unusual weather. I never re-rolled to see if we got something different. It's okay. We're going with weather. It is a successful, good field goal. If somebody watches this and wants to explain the weather to me, that would be great because I cannot figure out how that ends up making sense. At the end of the first quarter, we find ourselves with a 6-6 tie. 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. Start of the second quarter, we are kicking off to Seattle. It's a 15. 15 on a kickoff. Returner muffs the catch and is caught, starting in poor field position. That is bad news for Seattle there. It's another long one. You know, Seattle has done a lot of good stuff holding on to the ball. It's a 4-5-6. That is not one of our fun weather modifiers, though. Oh, no, I'm moving my tray. 4-5-6 is the season prior to 1987. That one's funny. It is not. Is it a dull offense? Who's got the ball? Seattle. It's semi-dull. If it's blue, they're dull. It is a dull offense. Offense goes backwards after crossing the midfield. Another failed punt. Seattle just cannot seem to get anything together. Find out what happens here with this punt. It's a 33. Perfect punt execution pins the other team in their deepest end. Poor field position. DC gets the ball with poor field position. It's a 4. Oh, I never finished up the previous one, and then we got to add 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4, which means it is a 2-point, 2-dot drive. It's a 1-4-4. Is it poor field position? It is. Offense can't recover from the first down holding call. Punt BU. They are backed up against. Disregard the timing dive value. Only 1 tick comes off the clock. All right, so we're actually going to end up only putting 1 tick. They must have really got pinned against their end zone there. We're going to do a special BU punt. It is a 26. Receiving team takes over, average field position. Seattle gets the ball back here. It's a punt. And I'm going to mark it as a punt BU just for the clarity's sake. It is a 1, 2, 3. We got a 2-dot. That's 2 dots here on time. One, 2, 3. Is it poor field position? It is not. Is it great field position? It is not. It is just a punt. This is what happens, I guess, when you start off a league with 2 dull offenses. DC finds themselves getting the ball again. It's a 14 on a punt. Roll 1d6 if the returner's in the open field. It's a 5. They are not in the open field. Otherwise, average field position. Average field position. 6, 1, 6. So we got 4 dots for this one. We're going to be inside 5 minutes here. There are some special rules in terms of being inside 5 minutes. When you're inside of 5 minutes, there's also some stuff about some like optional rules for long drives and different things. Some of the stuff I just haven't quite built into my head yet because it just there's a lot of moving pieces here. I want to make sure that I'm getting the time stuff right though. At the end of the first half, if the timing die indicates the drive used more than the time remaining in the half, then the result of the drive is end of half. So we just need to make sure that if I roll more than what came out, then that's what ends up happening. 166. What do we got? 166. Is it a dull offense? Who's got the ball? It is DC. It's a semi-dull. Let's find out. Are they dull? They are not dull. Receiver leaps, beating the defender to the ball. Touchdown pass. All right, we're rolling. We only roll one die. It's a failure on the 2-point conversion. It's only 6 points. We now find the DC defenders up 6-12. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 1. No, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2. 1, 2. No, it's only the 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's actually going to finish the quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the BU, a 1-2 punt, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. No, there's 1 dot left. 1 dot left here in the quarter. But on a return, there's not going to be anything of question. Seattle gets the ball, and it's a 52 on that kickoff return. 52 just ends them there in average position. Do they have anything that allows them? Nope. That is going to be the end of half because they rolled a 5. That's 3 dots. End of half. So the Dragons can't get anything on the board. Defenders find themselves up by 6. The finals right now at the half. It is the DC Defenders 12, Seattle Dragons 6. And actually, DC is going to start the half receiving. So 23. On a kickoff, 23, just average position. Good job, DC. 166. It's a 1 dot. 166. Is it a dull offense? Oh, boy, we might have another touchdown pass here. Let's find out. It is not a dull offense. Receiver leaps, beating defender. That is back-to-back touchdown passes on possessions. Going for a 2-point conversion again. Why not? 2-point conversion is no good. Again. This is basically like the XFL. Another 6 points on the board, however. DC finds themselves up 18-6. Seattle has got to start figuring out something here. They're going to be in a really tough spot come to 52. 52 is just average return for Seattle. All right. Seattle, let's see if they can get something moving here. It's a 4. We had 1 dot there. 4 is 2 dots. 1, 2. I need to remember to put the dots on at the end of the play because that's just... it's difficult for me to remember to do that. Seattle is a 2-4-4. Is it a dull offense? Let's find out. It is a dull offense. 2-4-4. Did I read the right spot? No, I read the wrong one. Doesn't matter. Is it poor field position? No. Is it an inept defense? No. 2-4-4 is a field goal attempt. Let's hope it's not a really big number because then I don't have to make a decision. 11. That is snake eyes. Field goal is good. 18-9. Because Seattle just put up a field goal. DC gets the ball on the ensuing kickoff to 24. 24 is average field position. 5. See, I forgot to put those dots back on again. I did it again. Gotta remember to put those dots. You know what? I'm just going to put the dots at the time that they come in. It makes me feel better about it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We've got ourselves a 1-4-5. Is it great field position? Nope. 1-4-5. Is it inept defense? Nope. 1-4-5 is a field goal attempt. DC is going to attempt to take it right back. It is a 34. That's a good for a field goal. And it is now 21-9 DC. $42. I should remember this chart by now, but I don't. It's just average field position for Seattle again. Seattle is dull and erratic, I guess. Woo! We got a 2, so that is only 2 dots. Shortest possession. 1, 2. But 1-1-2. Is it a punishing defense? No. Is it a soft defense? Who's the defense? It is the defenders. It is not a soft defense. It is just a punt. .33 punt. Perfect punt execution. Pins the team deep in their own end. Poor field position for the DC defenders. Is this something where the Seattle Dragons can kind of hold them at their spot and get good field position? It's a 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. It is a 2-3-6. 2-3-6. Is it prolific? It is not. Nope. 2-3-6. Is it porous? Nope. It is just a punt. So Seattle is able to hold them at bay, kind of force them back into their own end zone. Well, maybe not end zone, but force them to give the ball back. It's a 61 on that punt. 61 average field position. Seattle gets the ball around midfield, looking to drive. 4. If I end at the end of a quarter, I get to finish the play. Is that right? End of half. Close game. It's not really a close game. How does timing work at the quarters? No, because the drive continues. Yeah, we just continue dots into the next quarter. That's how that works. So it's a 4, which is 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So the third quarter actually ends right there anyway. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I just dropped my last 2. So yeah, the quarter ends up here with Seattle finishing. It is a 2-3-4. 2-3-4. Is it a dull offense? Let's find out. It is indeed a dull offense. It's another punt. Seattle. I'm sorry, sir. That's a punt. DC gets the ball to start the fourth quarter. Nope, I actually have to do the punt. So we're just going to take those 2 dice. It's a 42. 42 is a punt of average field position. There we go. We find ourselves with a 5 for time. 5 is 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 5 on our chart. 1, 3, 5. The rusher breaks through the line, but a clean hit knocks the ball loose. It's a fumble for DC. Can Seattle do something with this? Roll 1d6. It's a 5. Runner coughs up the ball on the offense's own end of the field. Great field position for the opponent. Seattle has an opportunity to make them pay. Seattle rolls themselves a 4-5-5. 5 is going to eat up some time on that clock, though. That is a lot of time to lose, especially in great field position. A 4-5-5. Is it a dull offense? Let's find out. It is not a dull offense. The quarterback lunges across the goal line for the score. Touchdown run. So now, Seattle's got to get themselves close. They are going for a 3-point conversion. They cannot sit back. Seattle's going for the 3 points and cannot get it. That is just 6 points. 3-point conversion, no good. That gives them 6 points. They find themselves at 15-21. At the end of the third quarter, I never put that up here in the marker. The Dragons finished at the end of the third with another 3. And the defenders finished with another 9. All right. It's 21-15 now. DC, there's still a little bit of time left on the clock. Let's find out what ends up happening here. It's a 15 kickoff. 15 return, muffs the catch, and is caught before he can get upfield. Poor field position for DC. Oh boy, DC, what are you doing here? That is not how you expected this to go. It's a 4. 1-2. They can't get the time. They can't get inside the last 5 minutes with that poor field position. 1-3-4. Is it poor field position? It is indeed. Runner tripped up short of the marker, and it's a punt. Oh, boy. Seattle making a push here at the end of the game on the mistakes committed by the DC defenders. It is a 46 on that punt. A 46 is average field position. Seattle, inside of 5 minutes. I want to make sure that I'm getting this stuff right. Here's my rule book. They are not efficient or inefficient teams, so that does not benefit them. End of half. Drive can close a game using the exact number of ticks. Punt result for a losing team. Inside the last 5. There is some stuff about going for it or converting a touchdown result as time expires. So we're just going to see what ends up happening. If they roll a 6, it's going to end up being time expiring. Because this is considered, I mean, I would consider this to be a close game. It's within 6 points. If they score a touchdown, it's tied, and then the extra point would put them over. If the team is already ahead by 2 or more scores, it's not a close game. Okay, so this is considered a close game. We are going to roll for that average field position. Here we go. Seattle. Oh, no. No, it's a 5, so that's only 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. I'm sure there's something I can get right here in terms of timing, like slowing down the clock. Maybe I can't if they are not efficient teams. I'll have to make sure that I get that part right because they're not efficient. So here we go. Seattle, it is a 4-5-6. 4-5-6. Oh, no! Is it prior to 1987? No. The pass is deflected at the line. It is an interception. Seattle throws the pick. The interception comes out as a 2. Defender is tackled after the pick. And DC finishes with average field position. Oh, that is painful. Seattle Dragons cannot finish the game. At the end of a half, if the timing dot has more dots, so there was one special scenario where a drive taking exactly 1 more tick then what is left on the game clock at the end will enable a team to convert a special touchdown result into field goal attempt as the clock expires. See special situations. So this is not a special situation. DC now has the ball. Is there an option to kneel? These are all end of half timing things. Efficient, 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 inefficient. This is all efficient, inefficient stuff. Desperation plays we don't need. That's perfect number of ticks left. Clock management. Nope. It looks like they're going to just... Is there an option to just kneel on the ball? Last play, desperation. If the team has already had kneel down with only 1 tick left, the team with the lead will kneel down and end the game. There's 1 tick left. DC after that kneels. I knew it was in the thing somewhere. Kneel down, end of game. There is 1 touchdown scored in the fourth quarter. Defenders can't put themselves on the board in the fourth quarter. However, they did just enough to hold off Seattle by picking off their quarterback. Brandon Silvers, man, am I pulling that out of my butt? I think it was Brandon Silvers was the quarterback. If I can find the stats, that would be pretty neat. 6 points here. The final score is 21 for the DC Defenders, 15 for the Seattle Dragons. I'm actually very curious. What was the final score of that first game? It would be neat to know how some of this stuff kind of played out in real life. I had it. Was that it? I also have to figure out how to get a computer closer to my game table. 2020 XFL. Is this it? Here we go. DC Defenders won their first game 31-19. So while it was not as much of a blowout, the end result still finished the same way. So thanks for hanging here with me. Should I start another game? No, I have some dishes to do. So that's what I'm going to do. Thanks for hanging here with me. If I decide to come around and play another one tonight, the next game that we're going to end up having get played is going to be... You know, I have to look at my Google Drive document now. The next game... Oh, my goodness. Too many tabs. This one. Next game is going to be the LA Wildcats versus the Houston Roughnecks, coached by June Jones. The LA Wildcats, I forget who their coach was. Their coach was Winston Moss. The Houston Roughnecks at the time that the league got shut down were the only 5-0 team in the league. So that should be pretty fun. Thanks for joining me. Feel free to check out later videos because I'm planning on putting this together and tracking this season. Have a